So an action is basically anything that you want FreeShow to do automated. Okay. You can find actions in a couple of different places. One of the places you can find actions is directly on a slide, and it will allow that slide to do some automated work. Now, my slides right here are all, let me pause that. My slides are actually, they are locked, so they're not going to play out. Let me go back to, if you go to media, you can right click, let's see. I think I got them locked. That's my FreeShow Friday. Is it the group? Oh, I locked the group. So my groups are locked, so I don't accidentally edit something. That was the main reason I did that. But you'll see that on the right, there's actions on these slides. This slide has start a playlist. It has an action to do some other things. These are all made from the functions tab though. Let me see if I got one that's not locked. So media systems one, media systems. Okay, so this is not locked. So if I right click on this slide, you'll see an option for actions called slide actions. And in here, you're going to see something that is called start actions. And start actions allow you to dictate what this slide does when it's started. Okay, when you start this slide, do you want something to happen? All right. And then below here are some other ones. So you can make it activate with a shortcut in terms of like setting a shortcut for that particular slide. When you click this shortcut, so if I pop it up, press any letter or key to assign, right? So it'll automatically trigger that slide. If you press the F key, right? I can do that. I'm not going to do that though. If I go right back here, oh, let's see. Is that playing? It's not playing audio. That's cool. I'll turn the audio off just to make sure it's not going to play audio. It's playing the video, but that's cool. All right. So slide actions though, you can have it activate on a MIDI signal to where it'll receive a MIDI signal from some source, and that'll trigger the slide. You can also do it to where it's going to have a timer to it, right? This one has an 8-second timer because you can see that check mark there. And you can see at the top left of the actual slide that it is 8 seconds, all right? And then you can make it go to start, which means it'll just go to the beginning of the show. Usually you'll do that on the last slide. And then you also have this option that says next on media finished. And what that means is usually you'll see that on videos. I put it on there, but it would do that if I just had the next slide timer where it's just on an 8-second timer. I don't need that on there specifically. It should go to the next without that, but I got them both on. But this start action option, okay, more actions. These are all automations as well, but this is more. So you can go here and you can see a list of things that you say, hey, when I get to this slide, I want to start this particular show. That's one thing. You can say, hey, when I get to this slide, I want to clear the background or clear the overlays. These are all actions that'll happen once this slide starts, okay? You can make it change your output or the stage output, for example. That's a really cool way to use this. If you have something specific on that slide, you want to change the way it looks in the stage. Maybe it's going from the prayer slide in your announcements to the announcement slide, okay? And maybe they're on the same show. You can make the announcement change the stage layout and pick the, a layout that's going to be more conducive for the person doing the announcements. Right, that's an idea. Audio wise, you can do the same thing for if you wanted to trigger for worship. There's better ways to do it than doing it on the slide though. So I don't recommend it specifically for those situations with worship leaders and switching over to the pastor or the teacher, whoever's teaching. But you can also do audio changes, timer changes, and also just set other actions to run, which is really cool. So you can literally go to a slide with this slide action option and make it trigger another action that you've already created. And that action can be a combination of multiple different things, all right? So that's what slide actions look like in a nutshell. But the question was, how do they compare to what you can do with the functions tab down in the drawer? Let me pull this up. So in the functions tab, there's an option or a whole category called actions. And in here, you can organize your actions. So I got a bunch of tags for my actions. You can see that I can hit that little drop down arrow. You'll see all these different tags. Now, the reason I have all those tags is because I wanted to organize them. So tags are kind of like folders, right? Where they can kind of organize. So I got some game show actions here that says game show ABCD. I've got some, let's see here, some MIDI actions I made. These were me testing out some ideas compared to what you would see like in ProPresenter. I think there's, what's the name of that program? Ableton, where these are some of the main actions that you'll see for the MIDI, and I was just pairing them up to what you can do in FreeShow. And so that list is there, and I organized them as a MIDI list here. Free Show Friday. I got a bunch of actions for Free Show Friday, and I can toggle between it being in a grid view or a list view when you put it into a tag. Okay, so when you tag an action, you can do that. So this is an overview of actions, right? And so I got a bunch of them. These turn into like a clipboard now, so I can just click on any of these. And if you hover over it, it'll show you what the name of that, the full name of it is, and all that kind of stuff. Now, the cool thing is, if I go to just the word actions here, this shows me a list of everything. All right, when you tag an action, it does not remove that action out of here. It just makes it to where it is also tagged to go somewhere else. If I remember correctly, let me double check that. I could be wrong. Yes, see, all those MIDIs are right here. I wanted to make sure that, yes, so all those MIDI signal options are here, but they're also here in a well-organized way. The tags are really helpful for you if you want to organize it for your volunteers. So you can just have a tag under your actions called Sunday morning, right? And all the things that you need to run for Sunday morning can be in there. And so if I click on the word actions, it shows me everything. How do I get anything to go into there, right? So I can just right click on any action and select the option that says set a tag, all right? And in here, you'll see all the different tags I've made. To make your own, you just go to the option that says manage tags. And this is where you can actually make any tags you want, assign the colors to it that you want, and then you can make new ones here. Hit the little trash can if you want to get rid of anything like that, okay? So Mark says, how do you create a new folder under actions? That's it. This is the tags. So you would just do that manage tag option by just right clicking on any action you already have, and then go to set tag, and then scroll to the bottom if you have any, and you'll select the option that says manage tags. All right, let's see here. And these are just filtered by tags, so I can filter out everything in here by tags, but I like to just go over here and look at the tags, okay? Let me see what else come up. Let's see. And I'm gonna go into the details more about tags. I'm gonna make sure I don't miss anything. Thanks. Okay. I'm just looking to make sure we don't have any. Okay, so let's continue on about actions. I'm gonna get to some of those other thoughts that you guys have there, okay? And so if we say, I wanna make a new action, all you do is go to the functions, go to actions, and then select new action down here. This new action is going to be a full list of things. You get to dictate what you wanna call it. Totally different than the actions on a slide. The actions on a slide are gonna be more narrow down and limited in terms of even what you can call it, because it's going to be whatever it says already dictated, okay? But these don't have to be tied to an actual slide. These can be an actual push button down at the bottom like you saw earlier. So I'm gonna call this one Free Show Friday test. I'll call it Terry test. All right, now here's what makes it unique. I can select the option that says choose action here. When I do that, it gives me a list. It's going to give you kind of like a truncated list out the gate, all right? Real simple list, similar to what you saw on the slides, but a lot more expanded. So under media, you're going to see start overlays and effects and start screens and all kinds of cool stuff. This is crazy, crazy cool, that is. You still see the start show. You'll see some clear options, same output options. Timers, you can do that. You can also set variables. You can make it to where it'll change a variable or emit data. So changing a variable might be like changing a scoreboard. You might have made a variable that counts up or is a counter or something like that. You might have made a variable that changes the name of the pastor or the speaker for the day or something like that. But this is just a small selection, okay? You also can add a wait action, which is really cool as well. And this has to do with making the program wait after, so you can stack actions in here. So you can make more than one step for your action. So step one might be start an audio effect. Step two might be wait 2 seconds, and that's going to be how long that audio effect is. So you say wait 2 seconds and then do another audio effect, right? You can do something like that with that. But I can hit this expand at the top and I can see more options. And this just opens it up to where this is a full unadulterated range of options you have to do some of the coolest things in the program. But they're not very popular, so they're kind of hidden behind that. And I say they're not very popular. They're more advanced. I'm gonna say they're not. It's not that they're not popular. They're just more advanced. So if you know what you want to do, then you can do that. For example, change the slide timeline speed. Come on, right? Transpose your chords up and down, right? You can do that with this. Here's an option here: a project action that marks an item in your project as played. Okay, there's an action that marks it as played if you want to, right? It'll do that automatically if you go through the whole thing, but you can also just tag an action to mark it as played. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So I can select that, and then it'll ask you to toggle it. So you can do a toggle on and off for that mark as played. And that's at step number 1, right? Start action number 1. I can do another one. I'll say add, I want to do something else. I also want to add in something else related to maybe my slides. Or I can play a slide at an index. That just means at a certain number. So an index represents anywhere from 0 through however many slides it is on that particular show. And so you can do that. You can also play a slide with a certain name or a specific group. Crazy, right? So you can say, I want to play a slide in a specific group, and you get to pick the drop down of what group you want it to be. What are we doing right now? That's crazy. All right. So this is, and I can delete these. So I can move this one up to say I want it to happen before this one, because whatever order you put these in is the order they're going to actually happen. All right. Now it's simultaneous if you don't have a weight in there, but it's still going to do it in that order, which is really cool. So I'm going to close that one out. I'll add another one here just to give us go back into this menu. You'll see you can clear specific overlay with actions. Really cool. You also can clear your drawings if you wanted to. If you had drawings with that, I call it the scribble thing. I'm not sure what it's called. I guess it's just called the drawing option. Right above your outputs, you have that drawing option. Let's see here on the media side of things. Not much has changed, but you can toggle playing media. Okay, you can toggle it to play or not play. And then this one is where it kind of goes back to that question we had earlier. You can actually do some things with outputs in terms of you can start a WebRTC streaming. You can start RTMP. You can stop both if you wanted to with an action. And that just means a button. Basically, an action is just a button that you're creating to just click it one time and it does whatever you set it to do. All right. So they don't have to be on a slide, but they can be on a slide. Okay. So here we got audio changes. Going through all these, this is a crazy list. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can do a lot. Anybody use the stage connections window? You can change the stage connection layout, right? To where whatever your current stage connection is set to, you can change that to be something else with this action. All right. Let's see here. We got audio, we got timers. That's pretty much the same, but you also see this expanded timeline options. Functions, that's still the same, change the variable. But down here, interactions. I don't know if you guys remember us talking about interactions, but interactions have to do with the live polls and quizzes. You can make an action for that to go to the next question or go to the previous question, to start or to stop an interaction. Crazy, all right? And then also OBS actions. So if you have OBS active and connected to your FreeShow, you can set to a certain scene with an action. You can, and I say an action, think about an action as a button. Okay, it's just a button you would click, or it's a setting you can make in Companion. Once you make an action in FreeShow, you can make a button for that action on your Companion Stream Deck, or just on my, I got an iPad on mine running my Companion. Same way with Spotify. You can run an action just for that, okay? That just has it for play, pause, fade out, next, or previous. If you have Spotify for desktop, FreeShow is going to automatically read that and show you the Spotify player, or controller, I should say. And it'll let you go ahead and use those actions if you wanted to for that as well. And then you also have log song usage to a file, set it as an action, right? If you use CCLI, this is a really powerful tool because it'll pull a report for you. It'll log the song usage to a file that you can export out later on. And then also other actions here. So you can run an action, you can toggle an action, or we got that weight still there, this there as well. Like I said, this is just an expanded list of actions. So Mr. Terry Ray, there is a difference. The biggest difference is that one is just much more expansive. The best way to troubleshoot an action is to right click on it, right? Just right click on that action and then do edit and just look and see what's going on with it. See what's supposed to be going on with it, because the way the actions work, going back to that discussion, you can drag these actions onto a slide. So I can say, I can pull that onto a slide like that. And when I get to the slide, it's going to automatically trigger that action. But you can also just click it. Okay. So I can just say, I can just click that and it'll automatically do whatever that action's supposed to do. All right. If you want to remove it off a slide, you can just click that and it'll go, it should go away if I click on it. I don't think it's going away. Let me see what's going on with my groups here. Do I got that locked too? Yep, I got it locked. Let me unlock it real quick. So if I hover over it this time, it'll go away. So I lock these up just so they won't accidentally get changed, which is really helpful. Really helpful, actually. And you'll see the little lock icon down at the bottom there. All right. I think I should lock that one too. This is Gary B. Jr. Africa. Africa 1. Let me lock that. Lock for editing. All right. And so, but yes, so if it's not working right click on the action and then go to the edit option and see what it's supposed to be doing, because what it's supposed to be doing, it may already be done, so it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. So if you say, hey, I want to change the stage layout with this action, but the stage is already set to that layout, the action is not going to make it look like it did anything because it's already there. So that's one reason why you might see it not do anything. Another thing is if whatever it is you're trying to trigger is not actively visible, maybe you're trying to, I don't know if you got it set to, I don't know what you could do. Like I said, maybe it's set up an output or something like that. If it's already active, it's not going to look like it did anything.